Oh God. This rack's high. I put it super low. We're good.
Good morning, Andy.
It's like 9 o'clock at night.
What are you talking about?
It's morning somewhere. I can tell you probably like 90% of the time I was in Afghanistan, I didn't know what time it was. I just knew it was dark or light.
Which could be morning.
Oh, you're working a 12-hour shift. We're doing 6 to 6, but I'm like, it's been dark out for about 3 hours, so we're gonna go ahead and assume we're a little past the 12-hour shift. You're a chemist. Do you have to keep good time?
I got a timer for that.
You got a timer for everything.
I got calibrated timers. I got certified timers.
What's the difference? What's the difference between a calibrated timer and like a timer on your phone?
So a calibrated timer goes out and gets tested to make sure that the seconds are precisely accurate.
And who's judging that?
Oh, the atomic clock in Colorado Springs, I think.
So they're like the overseers for all clocks.
They're the owners of time. They own time. These bitches own time. How do you own time? I don't know. It's the Illuminati. It's some lizard people. It's stuff going on. I don't know how you own time, but they probably will.
Everybody's worried about like these oil companies and stuff. You got guys out there that own time. Every time you look at your watch, you'll be like, yep, someone just made money. I'm not talking about an hourly job. We're talking about guys that literally own that number. I'm talking out of my ass right now. I'm gonna go ask Andy more about this off camera. In the meantime, Andy and I, well, mainly Andy, because it's been a while since you guys had some dirty Andy and Uncle Nick time. There's something that we frequently do after deadlift work, and it's not reverse hypers, even though I do them frequently as well. It is good morning. So I'm gonna let Dirty Andy kind of reinforce and build a case of, for those of you that aren't out there doing good mornings regularly, why it should be a habitual that just doesn't sound, why you should make this a habit. We're gonna go with that.
Fair enough.
Editing's a beautiful thing. Andy.
Nikki.
You good morning a lot.
Yeah.
Why do you good morning a lot?
So.
This is the angle. Andy's just that tall.
It's just got. No, so as for me, good morning is critical. I'm pretty sure everybody sees in the videos that I pretty much stiff leg everything. And I'm fine with that, I don't care. I got really bad knees. So in order to sink my hips.
From what?
Degenerative knee, simplex.
Oh, sure.
When I sink my hips, I don't have any cartilage or very little cartilage. So when I sink my hips, my kneecap and my femur do this number. So it's just painful. So I've kind of adopted my deadlift technique to hips very high.
High as shit.
High as sin. So I need strong glutes, hamstrings, and lower back. So good morning is critical as far as an accessory goes for that. Also, when I load a stone or a keg, excuse me, I good morning load. There's two different types of like stone loaders. Either you're gonna front squat it to where it's almost like you're front squatting a stone up and load, or you're gonna good morning the stone to where you're kind of over the stone and then you just kind of good morning. If you could see that movement, it's kind of like a good morning as opposed to quad dominant upper front squat type situation, which again kills my knees. Like I could probably load maybe a 250 stone front squatting it, but you know, approaching 400 or 4+, good morning in stone isn't that bad. So it's just kind of, I've adopted my techniques due to my biomechanical limitations or injuries or whatever you want to call it. So good mornings, glute ham raise, things like that. Anything that bangs away the hamstrings, the glutes, and low back is my bread and butter as far as an accessory.
So for the run-of-the-mill people that don't have blown out knee syndrome,
you're lucky bastards.
Why should it be a staple?
Same thing. In strongman, it's building your posterior chain, and There's a few things that you can never have enough of in strongman, and posterior chain is one of them. If you think you deadlift enough, you don't. If you think you load a heaviest stone, you don't. A heavy enough stone, you don't. If you think you can walk with your yoke is perfect. It's the weight you ever want to do. It's not. So you need to bang away the posterior chain, and this is one of the best things.
If I thought I deadlifted enough, I'd sleep a lot better at night. So what are you looking for when you're doing a good morning? What are the key movement sections and execution and form-wise that you're looking for in a correct good morning?
So low back straight. It's fine if the upper back rounds. What I do is I shoot my hips back as far as I can, break the knee a little bit, kind of like with a stiff leg deadlift or Romanian deadlift, whatever you want to call it. I'm shoulder width stance, and I'm up, and I just kind of break the hips and shoot the hips back until I get a really good stretch on the hamstring. I don't care about if I'm, parallel to the ground or anything like that. I want to get a good stretch on my hamstring and glutes, and then explode and squeeze up at the top.
Okay, so I hear a lot of people say about locking the knees and stuff. Now, I'm not someone who locks their knees. I don't have the mobility, and it's just not comfortable.
Right.
It hurts almost. Yeah. I don't personally think you should really be locking your knees either on that, because even if you do a stiff leg deadlift, how many of you actually lock your knees?
Right.
There's maybe two, I can count on one hand how many people I've seen do it in here. But for the most part, I mean, who pulls from that position? Right. Who pulls from a lock-kneed position? You're never, especially if you're a strong man, you're not deadlifting, you're not doing stones, not picking a keg. You're not doing anything with a locked knee outside of standing still. So why do a good morning with a locked knee? What should your knees be at the starting point? And
so same thing with breaking your hips. At the same time, it's like the hips and the knees break. So my butt goes back, and when my butt goes back, it's because my hips break and my knees break a little bit, slightly. I'm not like this, and it's not a squat morning. So it's just kind of break a little bit to loosen that tension, break the hips, shoot your butt back to where you get this good stretch right in the hamstring, and then up.
Cool. Well, Andy, glad to have you back. Glad we're on the same schedule. After the holidays, our schedules are all just so messed up, and I had stuff where I had to either fly in the morning or something, so lifting late just wasn't working for probably 2 or 3 weeks.
Some people don't even know what morning and night is, so that gets in the way.
What would you call a good night? What lift would be a good night?
I love good night because it's in the bed, it's warm, because it's like 20 degrees below zero right now.
I'm talking something.
Good night, nice warm bed, pillow.
I hope that's exactly what you do. I hope that's exactly what you do.
Wait, that's not what you do when you go to sleep?
No, because I don't sleep.
Oh, well. Where a clock is in front of you, like, oh, it's 5 p.m.
Well, you'd think with flying, where everything is timed, we have a clock we have a flight timer that as soon as the blades start turning, we hit the timer, and we're on the clock till we land and the blades stop turning. But apparently someone owns that time, come to find out.
Yep.
So it's like I'm getting paid in cash. If I don't keep track of time, I don't owe anybody anything. So
debt-free.
Debt-free time.
Debt-free since 93.
That shit is roll over, baby. I don't know if that's working. But Andy, thank you so much. Glad to be lifting again.
Yeah, for sure.
I got work to do still. Andy's got some stuff to do. And then we're getting out of here and go and get something to eat. So until the next time, you guys know what the deal is. Get out there, get after it, don't be dirty, and embrace the suck.